Hello and welcome to the news at 10 on NTN News 24. I am Chinenye Ngoye. First, let's bring you the headlines. Nigeria celebrates International Women's Day with the theme, For All, Women and Girls, Rights, Equality and Empowerment. Minister of Women Affairs to broker peace between Senate President and Kogi Central Senator. Professor Atahiru Jega as Special Advisor on Livestock Reform. Many thanks for joining us. Nigeria's First Lady, Oluremi Tinubu, has called on women to endeavor to lift each other up, one woman at a time. This is in her message commemorating this year's International Women's Day celebration. Extolling the strength and achievements of all women and girls across Nigeria and the world, the First Lady says the theme for the celebration, For All Women and Girls, Rights, Equality and Empowerment, serves as a powerful reminder of the need to reaffirm commitment to building a society where every woman and girl can thrive, free from discrimination and limitations. She notes that it is time for women to make this happen, urging them to stand up and play their part. Equitable policy reforms and strategic collaborations to advance women's rights and participation in decision-making processes took center stage during a ceremonial session to commemorate the International Women's Day. Amina Seidu reports that it was organized by the Office of the Speaker of the House of Representatives and Gender Mobile Initiative.
The Women's Policy Action Lab serves as a platform to empower women and drive discussions on fostering accountability in shaping policies leading to tangible reforms.
Indeed, Nigerian women have been a driving force in our social and economic growth. They serve as leaders in diverse industries, from agriculture and technology to healthcare and academia. Still, there remains a pressing need to address specific challenges, such as unequal access to education, financial resources, and political representation.
Today is a time for reflection, action, and solidarity. It's a day to acknowledge the incredible contributions that women make to our communities, economies, and societies at large. It is also a reminder of the work that still lies ahead as we strive for a world where every woman and girl has the opportunity to thrive.
When young women engage in shaping policies that directly impact their lives, the legislative process becomes more democratic, inclusive, and truly representative.
Cluster groups of young women made presentations on issues of the Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act, Child's Rights Act, and Nigerian Gender Policy, among others, with recommendations for amendments of certain acts. Awards were presented to the winning cluster groups and other organizations who have made significant strides in advocating women's rights and promoting gender equity in various sectors. A special tribute was also given to the late Chief Whip Adewumi Onanuga in recognition of her service to the nation. From the National Assembly, Amina Seidu, NT News.
The Inter-Party Advisory Council has called for greater participation of women in politics and increased inclusion in governance. The council commended the House of Representatives for its bill on seat reservations for women and celebrated International Women's Day under the theme, For All Women and Girls, Rights, Equality and Empowerment. Despite the significant contributions of Nigerian women to building a strong and democratic nation, they remain underrepresented in politics and government. The council urged governments and stakeholders to promote gender equality and address discrimination, harassment, and violence against women. The 2025 International Women's Day is significant to Nigerian women looking forward to a brighter prospect and opportunities. The transformative commitment of President Bola Tinubu to give the women a hope is evident with the move to increase budgetary allocation to the Ministry of Women Affairs. This is the opinion of the Minister of Women Affairs, Iman Suleiman Ibrahim, as she x-rays benefits for celebrating Nigerian women. Ngozi Technical reports.
Our intention is to ensure that we empower women so that we can contribute significantly to the $1 trillion goal.
Turn of the Women Affairs Minister to meet State House correspondents. It is on the occasion of the International Women's Day, and it's been 30 years since Beijing Declaration asking for 35% affirmative action, and 20 years after the Maputo Protocol came into effect calling for the right of women on the continent. But then, the clamor remains a distant score at federal and state levels in Nigeria. And now, the Women Affairs Minister is considering a different approach to attaining the objectives.
But times are gone where you bully people to give you things. The last time we took the gender bill to the National Assembly, we blocked the gate. There's 3 entrances to the National Assembly. When you block one, they're going to use the other 2. So this time around, we're going to do it differently. We'll do it in a very responsible manner. We'll mentor women so that when they get there, they also are able to serve and, open doors for other more women to come into the space.
Highlighting various economic empowerment programs being carried out and to be intensified by the government of the day, the minister says the administration is taking more intentional steps towards improving women's access to finance, addressing gender-based violence and female genital mutilation. In addition, she promises to intensify mentoring and advocacy to further strengthen women's capacity in preparing them for greater public responsibilities.
And we're also looking at a leadership academy or leadership institute whereby women are being trained and mentored properly by industry experts on how they can be able to. So those are the different initiatives. And I also like to use this opportunity to thank Her Excellency, the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Her renewed initiative has played a major role in empowering women and families and the vulnerable people across Nigeria. We would like to also support in the areas of the Every Home a Garden. It's a budget line in our budget.
And coincidentally too, at the time of one of the talks of the town, a gender-based back and forth in the Senate, Senator Natasha, now suspended, and the long-standing clamor for an improved women representation, particularly in political offices, is receiving a setback. But here, she promises a timely intervention.
In the last assembly, we had 9 senators that are women. This assembly, we have 4. We don't want to be losing any member in the Senate or in the House. We want to increase the numbers. It's unfortunate we're going to be brokering peace. We engage all the stakeholders to ensure that they temper justice with mercy for peace to reign, and then we'll continue to also sensitize so that we learn to work better together as women and men. Thank you.
Thank you. From the State House, Musbau Dan Wahab, NC News.
This is actually Musbau Dan Wahab's report on the Minister of Women Affairs briefing State House correspondents on the ongoing saga between the Senate President and the Kogi Central Senator. And President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has appointed Professor Atahiru Jega, the former chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, as special advisor and coordinator of the presidential livestock reform. A statement from Bayo Onanuga, special advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, says Jega, former vice chancellor of Bayero University, co-chaired the Presidential Livestock Committee with President Tinubu. The committee delivered comprehensive recommendations that underscores sustainable livestock reforms. One recommendation was the creation of the Livestock Ministry, which now has a minister. Jega, 68, is a member of the International Elections Advisory Council and the Pro-Chancellor and Chairman of the Governing Council of Sadautu Rimi University of Education in Kano State. He served as the chairman of INEC between 2010 and 2015. His appointment as special advisor to President Tinubu is expected to reinforce the gains of the Presidential Committee and ensure sustained momentum of the reforms already in motion. The oil and gas industry, key players say, is undergoing a data-driven transformation, leveraging big data analysis to enhance operational efficiency and decision-making. Lydia Sampson reports on the synergy to deepen reliable data sharing in Abuja.
By analyzing the vast data from sensors and seismic surveys, volume of production and consumption, oil and gas companies can optimize exploration, reduce cost, and improve safety. The interface between NMDPRA and National Bureau of Statistics is premised on continuous collaboration, data sharing, and navigating gaps for a win-win.
Our colleagues, I made sure that we hold back all those that are relevant to these discussions so that we can work together to come up with a framework of collaboration, not only in terms of data exchange, but knowledge exchange, capacity exchange, because we have expertise on our own side, you have expertise on your other side, on your side, so there is need to collaborate.
We all know the role that the oil sector is playing in our economy. So it's not a sector that can be taken to background or neglected. If you don't come to us, we have to come to you, because we know that we need you to get accurate information about the economy of their country.
As the industry faces increasing competition and misinformation and environmental pressures, pushing out the correct narrative to counter online misinformation, harnessing data insights, they both agree is crucial for sustainable growth and global competitiveness. The shift, they reiterate, underscores the pivotal role of data in shaping the industry's future. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
The news at 10 is reaching you on NTA News 24. We'll take a break here. There will be more reports when we return this day.
I am Oluremi Tinubu, the global and national Stop TB champion. Many people have asked why I've chosen to champion the fight against a disease like tuberculosis. My reason stems from a deep personal experience. I once had a friend who unfortunately fell ill and concealed the nature of his sickness until it was too late. Eventually, after he passed, we discovered he had tuberculosis. Sadly, due to the stigma and discrimination surrounding the disease, he would not speak up or seek for help. His death was a painful reminder that we could have intervened and saved a life if only we had known earlier. Tuberculosis is an airborne disease that primarily affects the lungs, but can also impact other parts of the body. Being airborne means anyone, regardless of their socio-economic status, can contract it. In Nigeria, 1 person dies of TB-related illness every 7 minutes, amounting to 206 deaths every day. Globally, 1 person succumbs to TB every 25 seconds, which is a staggering 3,456 lives lost daily. These deaths are entirely preventable because TB is curable if detected and treated early. If you or someone you know has been coughing for 2 weeks or more, coughing up blood, experiencing night sweats, or losing weight drastically, it might be TB. Please visit the nearest government hospital or primary health care center for proper diagnosis and treatment. TB treatment is free in all government and some private health facilities. Let us also remember not to stigmatize or discriminate against TB patients or those who have been treated for TB. Individuals who have been cured of TB can cannot infect others. I call on all stakeholders, especially the private sector, to join us in the fight to end TB in Nigeria. Together, we can make a difference. Remember, TB anywhere is TB everywhere. End TB by 2030. Yes, we can.
Many thanks for staying on. The 2025 International Women's Day is significant to Nigerian women, looking forward to a brighter prospect for all the women. Now I'm being joined in the studio to speak on this year's International Women's Day is Dr. Asma'u Benzis Leo. She's a women advocate and the Executive Director, Center for Nonviolence and Gender Advocacy in Nigeria. Ma, you're welcome to the News at 10.
Thank you. Good morning, Nigerians, and happy International Women's Day.
Okay, you're welcome, Ma. So let's begin. Indeed, we know that Nigerian women are resilient and they have contributed significantly in building a united nation. Now, let's look at the theme of this year's celebration. How would you speak to that, Ma?
Okay, thank you for this very important opportunity to be here in the studio live to share the celebration of the Nigerian woman and her contribution over the years. Pre-independence, we have seen how Nigerian women have also fought side by side with their male counterparts to ensure that Nigeria got its independence. And through the many years of military regime, we have seen how also many Nigerian women were also in the forefront of the return of democracy. And even where we are today, there are a lot of women in all sectors of the economy, from the financial sector, development sector, even to governance. Nigerian women are doing excellently well, both domestically, even at the global level. So today for me is a special day that I am here celebrating myself as a woman. To survive in Nigeria as a woman is really a very worthy time to celebrate ourselves, because we have gone through a lot as a nation and Nigerian women are still standing. So it is indeed a great day to celebrate all women and all sisters, not just in Nigeria, but across the world.
Okay, Ma, let's also look at some of the issues in the team and the sub-team, which has to do with unlocking gender equality and addressing issues of discrimination and harassment and violence against the women. What's your take on that, Ma?
So a lot of things are happening, both in Nigeria and globally. The woman, especially the girl child, have become an endangered species, whether in school, whether at home, whether on the street, whether in offices, or even at the highest level of governance. Women are suffering from one form of stigmatization, marginalization, harassment, discrimination. But you know what? One thing I love about all these things is the resilience of women to bounce back even better than they were. That is the key thing that we need to look at. Women are not solely victims. We are also active participants in governance. But what is lacking is the recognition for people, the society, to look at the contribution of the woman in the home front, in her office, in her work, even in the public space, at the highest form of leadership. It is the recognition, because most people feel the woman has nothing to offer. Sometimes they look at us from the head up syndrome, you know, or rather what they call, the neck down syndrome. That means they look at not your intellect, what you have up there, but they look at you from what you have to offer, especially sexually. Men think, oh, no matter how beautiful she is, no matter how intelligent she is, no matter how powerful the woman is, it's always a man's world. So the men should control the world. Nobody is arguing about that. God created us male, female. God created men to have their space, women to have their space. And what we do is not competition. It is complement each other. Can you imagine an entire nation like Nigeria without women? Nigeria will just, no place on earth, not just Nigeria, can exist without women. Women bring flavor, women bring savor, women bring the total ingredient that make the society whole as it is. So one thing I really want to bring out on this day is for us to begin to look at partnership. It's for us to begin to look at how we can collaborate, men, women. What do we do together? Because you cannot walk with one hand. You will be disabled. You cannot do with one leg walking. You'll be incapacitated. But when you have both legs working, both hands working, together we can achieve much more. And the nation will be better off. The GDP will increase. Safety on our spaces, in our homes, on the street, in our offices will be heightened. And there's so many, a lot of benefits accrue to when women work together side by side for the benefit of the nation.
Okay, we're talking about women working together. We also know that some women are also the problem of themselves. So in a day like this, what would be your advice to your fellow women on this day in terms of women supporting women?
Well, I'm surprised that this narrative is gaining ground. Women don't hate each other. Women love each other. Women support each other. But you know what happens? It's just the human nature of selfishness, of greed, of wanting to belong. When you see a woman, we call them the matriarchs of patriarchy, or we call them the princess or the queens of patriarchy, because those are women that feel on their own they cannot stand alone. They need a man to validate them. They need a man to support them. They need a man to do everything for them before they become who they are. So when you see a woman attacking another woman for her to support a man, or maybe there is a problem between two people, including a man and a woman, and another woman comes in and begins to support the man, check it. There are underlying issues that we are not seeing. It's either she needs favor from that man. It's either she knows that if she supports the woman behind her back, she will also be stigmatized and also be targeted. So what she does is, in order for her to benefit, which is a selfish interest, then she will push her fellow woman under the bus so that she will gain access to whatever resources or privileges she wants to get. But believe you me, beside the interest a woman seeks to gain, beside the relevance that every woman seeks to gain, it is about sisterhood. It's about support. It's about encouragement. Men will use other women to target other women, but it is just for a while. Time is coming. The same you that went to pull down another woman, you will be their own target. And when your time is up, be sure that no woman will stand by you. We know them. We have seen them. We have looked at their antecedents, and we know tomorrow is coming. Those same women that are going around pulling other women, one day you will come out and you will need the support of women. But hey, it will be too late for you. No woman will be there for you. So it is even for your good when you support each other. It doesn't matter that, okay, you have issues. Of course, even the men do have issues. You will see men assassinating men in the political space. You will see men in the political arena targeting one another. But still, what do you feel? They don't fight each other. They don't come out to say men don't support men. We all support each other because we are human beings. So it's not the issue of woman, man. It's the issue of the individual who has something to gain out of what they are doing. Okay.
Thank you so much, Ma, for that sharing your thoughts with us on the International Women's Day. I've been speaking with Dr. Asma'u Benzis Liu, a woman advocate and an executive director, Center for Nonviolence and Gender Advocacy in Nigeria. Ma, thank you for coming.
It's my pleasure being here. And happy International Women's Day once again.
Okay.